Hello, it's Colette. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, this is a thank you, and please join and maybe subscribe because there's a lot going on in this channel. And if you're a oldie, welcome back. Thanks for your support, particularly all the coffees that have been bought for me in the last month or so. It's been so good. Thank you. Financially, it's been a big help. I know it's like £3 or $3, but when a few folk are buying you them, it fair does add up. So I feel the support for the channel is fantastic. So thank you very much. And don't worry if you can't buy me a coffee or whatever, just enjoy the videos and know that as much love goes out to you. So here is the weekly tarot card for the week commencing Monday the 9th of July 2018, and it's the Princess of Discs. Beautiful card, very fertile, very naked with the moon in her belly and lots of greenery round about her, also hidden eyes. I'll put her down before I get a strike in my channel, mind you, for boobs out. So this is the weekly tarot card for the week ahead, and she is lovely. Now, she's a court card, which can be read as energies or people or both. Now, the people that this card represents are earth sign women, normally over the age of about 30. Maturer women all come under this card. That's Taurus, Capricorn and Virgo. So if you've got someone in your life that matches up to that card, whether it be a daughter, whether it be a spouse or a friend, they'll need your attention in the week ahead. It's their week, and it might not be for anything bad. It might be for a celebration. It might be that the focus is very firmly on them for something they've accomplished or something that they're very happy about. So good card. Look out for your female earth signs and enjoy the connection with them in the week ahead. For what it means as an energy, it's full of fertility. It's full of the moon and the womb, and it's about fertility in all things. Now, it's an earthy card. It's a very practical, earthy, down-to-earth card. So a lot of the fertility will come through earthy things. So in general, there'll be like pregnancies announced this week. Or in the other way, fertility might be high for conception in the week ahead. It can also be a great card if you're wanting to do one of the fertility intents that are up. So I have one just look under spells, I think it's in. Good week to do that because this card is very auspicious for pregnancies, particularly at a time when people are wanting to have a conception and maybe have tried for a wee while. So yeah, I like this card. From other energies, just think of growth potential. Just think of something that can take a wee while to go from seed to full plant. Now, last week's weekly tarot card was the Leap of Faith, the Valor card. And that's the card that allows us to push forward and take that leap of faith. This is an exceptionally good one to follow it because it's about the fertility, but grounded fertility that comes from that. So although the Seven of Wands is very much about leap of faith and it's very up there and it's very energy driven, this brings it down to an earthy production now. So whether it's career, whether it's relationship, whether it's money, if you've taken the leap of faith, now the practical growth begins to come forth for you. So try and read last week's card into this week's card and let them follow through, because together they are a very, very auspicious combination of leap of faith, then practical growth potential. So let's look at them in many areas. If we look at this card where career's concerned, again, it's about the practical feeling that the steps that you've taken and the things that you're putting into action are bringing you growth. It's a time where you could say, right, okay, I've taken the leap of faith, now I need to get down to do those 2-year studies or get that HNC or that HND. even if you're working, this can roll on top of it for a practical way of bringing further fertility into your career as such. And yes, it does bring the aspect of new jobs. It also is the card that kind of lends itself to certain occupations, midwifery. It also brings out a deep connection for gardeners, garden planners, fruit pickers, everybody that would be connected with the fertility of the land in a practical way, if you see what I mean. It's not airy-fairy. It's not like, you know, like poetry about the summer day. It's about getting down and dirty and your hands in the earth to bring forth the lovely produce further on in the year. So it's a very practical card, and you could find yourself very, very busy in career this week with I'm going to do that, I'm going to invest my time in that, and it's just a great one for careers. So even if you don't move careers as such, it's the fertility, it's that feeling that you're not stuck, that you can take practical movement forward, and this card will allow you to feel happier and more in control in a way. If we look at health, aspects are breast and womb area. She's also got greenery over her eyes, which sometimes can lead me to think about hay fever caused by like ferns or fronds or pollen. So you might find it's a high pollen week. Boobs, anything that you feel that you need to get seen to towards boobs. And also the fertility aspect, she is a very good fertility card. But at the end of that spectrum, you know, if you're menopausal, she can bring out menopausal symptoms that then need the practical approach to help with. And I've got a book called Menopause, A Natural and Spiritual Journey by Colette Clairvoyant, if you're interested in that, if you're at the other side of this card. So very much links to female aspects, this card, but also the aspect of irritated eyes. Okay, now if we look at love, she's a great one for taking forth a relationship. Last week we were saying just go for the relationship, just take a leap of faith. This is when you're starting to take the practical steps to firm it in. So many new relationships are kind of bedding down this week and starting to find their feet as such. Great time for fertility, but it also is a fertility card, so watch what you're doing unless that's something that you want. Take precautions as such, because this is I've noticed that when this comes out after the leap of faith card, maybe some people aren't ready, and maybe there's a baby coming that they really weren't planning for in any way, so just be extra careful with that one. Long-term relationships, this just brings further fertility of love. It can bring babies, it can bring plans for the long-term future, it can bring couples getting very practical and putting a patio in their garden. It can bring so many just very good things, and it's so enjoyable. So a good relationship card all round with a wee fertility warning in it. If we look at finances, very similar. You know, you may have taken the leap of faith to get your finances under control. This is the week where you can see the practical ways of doing that, so that you've got further fertility and harvest of money or finances further down the line. I tend to call this card my 9 months card. If someone asks me a timing and this card comes out, for me it gives within 9 months. So it's not like short and sweet. It's not like if I do that I'll gain that by 2 weeks from now. It's a longer plan card. It's a card for sowing seeds and waiting for them to harvest further down the line. But she is lovely. She's a lovely card, and both of my daughters are signs, so they're governed by this card too. So I'll need to just keep an eye on both of them next week for, you know, just because it is their card, and therefore the focus would be on both of them, and that doesn't need to be for bad reasons at all. all, it can be for very good and happy reasons. So fingers crossed. And I hope you've enjoyed this weekly tarot card. If you're new, please stay and subscribe and hit the wee bell notification, or you won't see the videos now. And just enjoy the weekly tarot card and a bit of mediumship and magic and dream work and tarot. And this channel is kind of, I would just say, I don't know what it is anymore. I really don't. But it's the Colette Clairvoyant channel with added bits onto clairvoyance. Anyway, I better go. Beautiful day. Decided I'm definitely going to enjoy it, even though I'm a wee bit sore today. I'm coming out of a Sjogren's sort of peak, and still very sore with it. But at the same time, isn't summer lovely? Doesn't it make us feel better, apart from the midge bites and the sun reactions and the swollen ankles? It doesn't matter. Summer is still just a beautiful place to be. So enjoy your summer if you're in the northern hemisphere, and sorry about winter if you're in the southern hemisphere. But I love you all, and I'm really happy that you're with me and that the channel's growing. So thank you very much, and I'll see you hopefully next week for next week's weekly tarot card. Many blessings now. Bye.